Peace, everyone. Um, I wanted to, have a little dialogue about the potentials for Anthony Joshua now that we are coming off of the back of his big win at the Day of Reckoning, and so much is still buzzing around. What a spectacular and phenomenal job he did, and we're all excited and anxious to see this new development of Anthony Joshua, particularly with Ben Davison, who he looked phenomenal with, and who we got to witness some aspects of AJ that we, at least the people who support him, have long admired, which is his establishing of generalship in the ring, his taking the lead and dominating his opponents and getting them out of there. So now with that wonderful display that we saw, everybody is kind of anxious to see, naturally, what's next? What's next for the king? So there are a lot of speculations going on about his potential next opponents. But one of the ones that I want to focus on, really, at this moment is the potential Francis Ngannou link up. Now, I have several thoughts about that. I give Ngannou definitely his respect as a fighter. He is, somebody who has given himself to the sport. He's a wonderful, wonderful sportsman, wonderful athlete in his field of MMA. And he actually held his ground and stole the show from Tyson Fury when they fought. And it was a surprising feat that he managed to basically knock Tyson Fury ass out, in his first, real boxing match on this type of level and on this type of stage. He managed to knock him out. And Fury is noted for his boxing skills, his ring IQ, his generalship, and all this, that, and the third. And, was knocked out by this brother. So Ngannou is basically on the lips of everyone. And people are interested, I guess, in seeing his level of competition and maybe the potential threat that he can pose to other world-renowned boxers. And in this particular sense, now that we saw the display against Fury, people are interested now in the potential matchup with Joshua. I gotta keep it a stack. I don't think that is anything worth investing time and energy to. And I'll tell you why. First of all, Fury ducked the undisputed match for whatever reason at that particular time with Usyk, to do an exhibition match. Now, why? I don't know. And I don't know if that question will ever be answered. I guess he felt that would be a tune-up. Francis Ngannou, somebody who is not even in the sport, technically. He's a fighter, but he is not a boxer. So I don't even know why something like that would have been presented on the table. You duck undisputed with your contemporary to join forces in an exhibition match? Like, King, what is going, I don't know what was going on with Fury. But that's exactly what it was. It was an exhibition match. It was not a boxing matchup, And it turned out that you took a risk and wound up getting your ass knocked out and kissing the canvas. And that's what you get for making such a stupid decision. But anyway, as far as Anthony Joshua is concerned, I don't think that An Ngannou fight is where I want to invest my energy into. And I just think it's a waste of time. Anthony Joshua is in a really great position. He's in a really strong seat right now, after such a win. And he's getting his rhythm, and he's establishing his grounds. He's laying a really strong foreground for the new chapter of his career. And I'm excited to watch and to see the progress that he continues to make moving forward. And I don't want to see those progressions and those steps and the seriousness of his craft exemplified alongside somebody who is not a boxer. As good of a fighter as Ngannou is, he's not a boxer. Okay? And that has to be understood and acknowledged. I think people are in this fantasy world. I'm not a person of that's really into fantasy matchups. Exhibitions are one thing. They have their place if that's something that people want to, enjoy, like the Mike Tyson and the Roy Jones, link up. They never met, while they were active in their careers, and they later met in the ring as old men, as a kind of ode to the heydays and to give people what we never got a chance to see. So them linking up to do an exhibition, was cool, I guess, in that arena. But we are talking about the likes of Anthony Joshua, the young king. Like, he's a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Like, he has no business in exhibition matches. That bullshit is cool for Tyson Fury, because Fury is kind of a frivolous type of person. Like, as great of a fighter as he's acclaimed to be, he's very elusive like that. He's very non-binding. He's like, 1 minute he's here, next minute he's there, 1 minute he's up, next minute he's down. You don't really know what he's going to do. That's kind of the character around him. And so his movements and his actions and decisions also reflect that, for the reason why he would duck undisputed to go fight an MMA fighter. So it's kind of typical of him to have done a move like that when you think about it. But at the same time, it had no place, and it garnered no respect from me. That's for sure. For him taking on such a proposition. But I think, as Anthony goes, it's just, I'm not with the fantasy link-ups, and I think that it's kind of dangerous, as far as this particular era is concerned, with the whole idea of fantasy matchups, because we've begun seeing a lot of that over the past few years, with the entrance of the YouTube people coming into the scene, your KSIs and your Jake Pauls and the like, and things like that, your Blueface, all types of whatever. And it's cool, these young cats are coming in and they're making their money, and they have an audience willing to back it, willing to stream it or attend the events, whatever the case is. That's fine. I'm not knocking the generating of money for these young kids who are partaking in that. I think that's fine. It has its own place. It can be its own thing among that particular market. But as far as the boxing world is concerned, you can call me a purist, and I just might agree with you on that. It's not something I'm going to negate. I definitely believe in the sport. I love the sport for what it represents, and for what these men put their lives in complete dedication to. And I don't want to see nonsensical approaches to a sport that requires such dedication and sacrifice. I just don't want to see a game made of it, not with the boxers who are serious. And for me, I think Anthony Joshua is that type of boxer. He'll go down in history as somebody who has served the sport, along with some other greats. And any other boxer currently who has that type of dedication, I believe, is also in line to go down with the greats who did not play around. This is what they did day in and day out. They went to bed with this on their mind. They woke up with it on their mind, at 4 or 5 a.m. to go run, to go hit some heavy bags, to go spar, to go, what I'm saying? It's a life dedication. And, you don't waste that type of, these training camps, can last weeks at a time. Sometimes these boxers go, months without seeing their family. You think I'm going to spend, if I was a boxer, you think I would spend 6 to 8 weeks or more away from my family so that I could fight some fucking person who is not even a sportsman? I mean, in my particular sport, not on my level. Like Joshua is an Olympian, a gold medal recipient. Why is he going to waste his time on somebody who has not given, half of his dedication to this particular sport, just to generate, a few views or a few likes or whatever the case is, whatever the interest is that they're trying to market. It's just whack to me. Joshua has better options on the table. He can do the Parker rematch if he wanted to. That's an option. Of course, Hrgovic and Zhang are on the table. These are serious fighters, serious contenders, and these are the people that I would rather and support him trading leather with because they are of his caliber. You know what I mean? Ngannou is just not on the table. So I guess that's really the point that I wanted to make there with that. I'm just sick of the talk of Ngannou. How the hell does Ngannou get to speak? With all due respect, like I said, I like the brother. I think he's really, really dope. I love his story. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a good fighter at what he does. And I thought he put up a great fight against Fury for his first, official boxing match. Definitely his first one on the level at which he fought Fury. He's spectacular. There's no shade to him whatsoever. But in truth, he's just not qualified to skip the line above people who are actual boxers, who are putting their time and their energy into this sport so that they could have some hope to achieve some type of legacy for themselves. How does Ngannou get to skip the line of all of that and fight the likes of a Joshua? It just doesn't make sense at this particular moment. And I wish that the boxing world would stop being so scary about these types of things, because the excuse would be, oh, it's good for boxing. I don't agree with that. I have to counter that because I don't believe that is a truthful perspective on boxing. Boxing has been here for a long time. It's one of the oldest sports that we have. And it's been respected for the years that it's been around because this is serious. This is serious material, it's serious work. And, one has to approach it with care and with dedication. I'm not interested in, just opening it up to any old body to come in. And that's a whole nother discussion in itself, because people want to look at it as it being good for business. Oh, it can generate, different types of interest from different demographics and all of that. And that's great because we want to, I understand that, because we want to, have more participants, have more lovers of boxing, have more people tuning in and things like that. But listen, you can't spoil the seed with overexposure or non-nourishment. I just don't think that a frivolous approach to boxing is going to provide any nourishment and sustenance for its continuance in the future. I think it has to be of substance and of quality in order to, just like anything else, in order to mature in a healthy, balanced way. I think opening it up to type of superficial, trivial trends and tendencies is a detriment to the sport. I don't think that in the long run it can help anything. And I think that's something that the boxing community should be mindful of. So yeah, that's my take on the Ngannou-Joshua fight. I like the prospects on the table for him. Whichever way he decides to go, of course, I'll support that. But hopefully it's in the direction of some real contenders and some real, fellow elite boxers that are on the horizon for him as far as his next bout. So, peace.